Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Stripped Back with Daisy Delight, where I am doing my very, very best to unpack the Sydney burlesque scene one rhinestone at a time. And with me today, I have somebody who, look, has been very much long overdue to be on my show, and it's an absolute honor to have you. Kellyanne Doll, how are you going?
Oh, good. Yeah, it is about time. No, I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for asking me.
Honestly, like, how could I not? I mean, not only with the Apprentice coming up, it's perfect timing since you co-produced that show with Delilah, but as
Mhm.
well, I was doing like my usual stalkety stalk of people's profiles this morning, and the amount of things that you've been involved in the Sydney burlesque scene is just next level. Like seriously, I don't think there's a single area that you haven't touched.
I've been around a long time, girl. Yes. Look, I'm a bit of an overachiever, put it that way.
Absolutely. So I'll just read what I found, and
Mhm.
even with all of
Sure.
this, I'm probably missing a lot. So you call yourself Australia's biggest little lady of burlesque. You've been in the Sydney scene for 18 years, and as a part of that, you've been on stage not only as a talented performer, often dancing with the tasteless gentlemen,
Mhm.
but also you fostered opportunities for beginner and established performers alike. So you're the director of Red Right Hand Entertainment, which is known for producing some of the biggest burlesque shows in Sydney. So Redlight Confidential, Get Down Variety Club, and Dr Sketchy's, just to name a few. You also co-produce Mx Burlesque New South Wales with Memphis Mae, and you've won yourself the title in two different states, which I didn't know until I looked that up.
Oh, yeah, I wanted another one. There was room for one more, you know.
Overachiever. And away from home, you've also competed in the Burlesque Hall of Fame Best Debut competition last year, and you're about to go back to Vegas again for another competition. Um, it's just mind blowing. And somehow, among all of this, you've managed to find time to co-produce The Apprentice with Delilah Dollbaby, and you've managed to find time to come on my show. So, massive thank you.
Oh my God, I'm just so tired just be reading that. I'm like, when do I sleep? When, when do I actually have a break? Never.
Like,
Sleep is
seriously, like,
sleep is for the weak. Sleep is for the weak.
sleep is for the weak, says Kelly
Correct.
Andol.
Hmm.
All right. Well, honestly, like there's so much there to get into, but are you just fine to just dive into the questions?
Yeah, I thought it's been an amazing career, so and it only gets better. So let's go.
Hell yeah. So going way, way, way back, what
Hmm.
was your first ever exposure to burlesque?
So I was a swing dancer first. So
Ah.
I grew up in the swing scene from a very young age, and then when you got to like sort of the end of that, there wasn't really anywhere else to go other than to teach or to start a school or to judge, and it just didn't motivate me. I always felt like there was something more. And when I was in my 20s, when I actually just turned 20, we got picked up by James Morrison
Hmm.
and James Morrison, the trumpet player, was James trumpet player,
Oh, wow,
and
cool.
his brother Jim, and they had a big band called the Twin City Big Band, and we got selected as their dancers for the Olympic Games, the hotspots. So
Oh.
I came from like this tiny little like world, this bubble, and then got thrown into sort of the mainstream live entertainment scene where we were dancing in front of hundreds of thousands of people. And I was like, that's what I want to do. I need to find a way to do that. And it just was just such a progression. Once I knew I wanted that, then these opportunities just started to happen. And we were selected by a show called Sugar Time, a company called Sugar Time, and
Uh-huh.
they used to run these underground events at 34B, which isn't around anymore. But it's where I saw Imogen Kelly. It's where I saw
Ah.
Shamina for the first time,
Ah.
Lillian Starr, all these iconic performers that you know and love today. That was my first introduction to burlesque, but it wasn't the classic style. It was all very weird and wonderful and dirty. And I was like, oh my God, why are they taking off their clothes? Oh my goodness. And I'm like, "Oh, I don't know what to do. I can't do that." So we were actually selected as my dance partner and I as filler acts for burlesque shows. So we were in
Oh.
between. So me and my dance partner would go out and swing dance in between acts, even in the dark. We weren't even lit.
Oh, wow.
We weren't even lit because we weren't really part of the burlesque show. We were just put on there as sort of a filler act, and then people just started to want us back, and whatever that is, we want to see more of that. And it just kind of grew and grew, and we became part of the burlesque scene. So that was my first introduction, just coming from baby swing dancer into a baby, baby burlesque show, but not even taking my clothes off for a good 3 or 4 years before that. So yeah, it was very, very organic transition, but here we are. So the rest is history.
So I gotta know, what happened first? Was it because I've seen you interpret striptease into your swing dancing, and you've
Mhm.
also a fantastic solo performer. What came first? Were you stripping while you were swing dancing, or did you do the solo stuff?
No, the swing dancing came first. I was swing dancing in burlesque before I was stripping in burlesque. So I
Right.
was actually dancing with my partner in burlesque shows, and the skirts got shorter. You know, the top just kind of fell off by accident.
Right.
And then one day I was performing at the Metro Theatre in a huge show called Good Drugs, Bad Women. So it's incredible. Gypsy Wood and the guy that Russell Beatty who produced Star Wars strip sack,
Hmm.
Empire strip sack. He was the producer of that show, and there was just one moment where I was like, I need pasty. Tonight's the night. Tonight's the night. And I think the only person who was there that had some was Tasia, and she's a you know quite a voluptuous lady, and I'm not. So it was kind of almost like taking a bra off, but to reveal another bra. So, I just did it, and I remember doing it, and if the lights went black, and I threw up as I went off stage. Like it was that
No.
such a release of energy and such a release of endorphins that because I was quite small, I was quite, tiny back then, and there wasn't any much representation of my body type, but I just
Yeah.
knew I was ready, and I knew it was right, and yeah, that was it. But probably about 3 years of dancing with a partner in burlesque before I actually took my photo.
Right. I like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, the skirts increasingly got shorter,
Mm.
and then you're just like, nah, let's just take it all off.
Yeah, I mean, in rock and roll and swinging competition, you're always showing your underwear.
Yeah.
It's just part of the game. You're going upside down. It's just bound to happen. But never it was never really appropriate to show the top half of your body. But yeah, the swing scene didn't like it actually. So
Oh.
it was quite controversial when I crossed over to the burlesque scene. I was not they weren't happy about it.
Oh.
But I won them over. I won them over. But yeah, it was quite a hard transition
Yeah.
back
Absolutely,
then.
because there would have been no one doing what you did before you.
No, I mean, if there was, it wasn't in Australia. But I think that there definitely was some people going, this is not appropriate, and we don't, uh, we don't condone this kind of behaviour in the
Right.
swing scene. And I was like, well, then bye, see you later. I'm going to do it anyway. And there was a lot of pushback. I lost a lot of support from the
Mm.
community, and I just stood my ground, and I knew that there was a better life out there for me other than just staying in one space. And I brought swing to burlesque, and I don't regret my choices. I don't
No.
regret my choices at all.
Yes. I mean, look at how
Yeah.
far it's gotten you.
Yeah, it's been amazing. Look, they've all come around since then, but back then it was, I was a champion dancer, so I was very much in the scene to be a representation of the swing. And when I turned my back and wanted to do something that no one had done before, they were a bit scared.
Yeah.
And I was just like, well, this is my life and this is my body, and I have my skills, and I'm going to do what I want with it. So yeah,
Absolutely. And that's
yeah,
your
no
right.
regrets. Yeah, of course, and I will do it all
Hell yeah.
again.
So, moving on from there, like typically I'd ask people on this show, like, did you go to classes? How did you, get into burlesque? But after talking with Sheena a few weeks ago, she was talking about how there weren't any burlesque classes when she started. None of that existed.
back
So,
back in our day, back in our day, we just have to taught ourselves. Yeah, there was no classes. There was and YouTube was only just starting. There was Facebook as well. Facebook had only just started. So the only real inspiration that we had was from ourselves and from our peers that we were working with. And I always say to this day, like I am so grateful, even though the social media and the digital age is dropped on me a little bit, but I would never take away the fact that I came from that time where it was so organic where burlesque came from. It was from the roots, it was from your heart, and there was no one really to compete with as well, and so
yeah.
everything was just so much more personal and emotional and fun, and there was no drama. I mean, there was drama, Hang on, hang on. There was drama, but it wasn't the kind of drama you see now. So it was definitely a an amazing time to be a burlesque performer starting out in the industry. It really was. So yeah, no classes, girl. No classes.
God.
We taught ourselves. I mean, you take your
Wow.
clothes off every day. Like every day and night, you're taking your clothes off. You just gotta burlesque is just having your hair. Like why? And put a nice soundtrack on it. That's really all it is.
And what did you find? So of course you incorporate your swing dancing into your burlesque. So how did you find that transition? I mean, aside from the community being like, oh, we don't do that. What were the moves like in burlesque as opposed to swing dancing?
I mean, for me, that's because I've had the fast footwork. You know, my transition was through when I danced with my partner. I love high energy, fast movement, and so that's how I sort of incorporated my solo style.
Yeah.
It was a no brainer for me. I mean, but I also came from a lot of insecurity as well because I didn't feel um, sexy, like in a commercial
Mm.
sense. You know, back when I started, it was very much voluptuous women, very curvy, excuse me, curvy people dancing to bands. It was very sexual, and I hadn't really found that yet. You know, I
Right.
hadn't really sort of delved into loving my body, or even, you know, like I said, there wasn't much representation for the size 6 person and the 5 foot size 6 person.
Mm.
Um, so I danced fast because I didn't really want people to see me. I feel like if I danced fast, then they would love it and they would like, I don't know what this is, but I love it, and not really focus on my body. They would
Right.
focus on my style. And, you know, I guess that sort of would make me a little bit more. I wish someone could take me back and tell me, slow down just a little bit, you know,
Mm.
like, you know, like 20 years from now, you might want to have a little bit more on the less on the knees and less on the back. But I think nowadays I know that that's what people love from me, and I would be willing to kind of that. But
Yeah.
back then I did use it as a cover for my own insecurity about my body. But now it's just like, have it all, have it
Yeah.
all, have my body jiggling and running around and jumping around and, you know. But yeah, but that's the transition. No, the fast footwork and directing. No one was doing it, so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna keep doing it.
Yeah. It seems like I mean, we've only been talking for about, 10 minutes or so, but like a theme that I see coming up again and again is you really did pave your own way.
Back then, yeah. I mean, it didn't come without its challenges because I was changing the game. You know, there wasn't
Mm.
anything like what I was doing, and a lot of people were telling me that it was wrong and that it was that they weren't billing me as a burlesque performer. They were billing me more as an exhibition performer, and I
Mm.
had to really fight my way through that. And you know, demand equal pay, demand that they billed me correctly because, you know, like I wasn't stupid. They were putting me on, you know, in the middle of shows and then towards the end of shows, you know, I was like, I know what you're doing. You know,
Mm.
I have something that, you know, the crowd's going to like, but you're not paying me the same and you're
Mm.
not billing me the same way. You know, I just stood up for myself really because, you know, coming from a competition background, you did get that sort of treatment as well when you were a
Mm.
lot different to other people. And I was just like, I'm not doing this. You're going to pay me the way I deserve to be paid, and you're going to treat me the way I deserve to be treated. And, you know, and it did open the doors for a lot of fusion artists back then to be like, oh, this girl's doing it differently than everyone else. Like maybe I can as an ex ballerina or an ex circus performer, or, you know, there was a whole new generation of people going, oh, this is a safe space to like come over and do this, even though we're not strict these artists. We can tell a story without taking off our clothes. And, you know, it's like, yes, come on to the dance. Come on over. So, I mean, it wasn't just me. There was a couple of others who were crossing over from the dance scene,
Mm.
and that I grew up with, you know. So, yeah, but for me, it was the fast style of burlesque was definitely something I hadn't seen.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And yeah, I think even still now to this day, your style is so unique. Like they're really, I mean, I guess it's part of the reason why you are so successful. It's just you out there doing what you do best, and it's beautiful to watch.
Just an idiot, just a full time idiot. My physio would say the same.
So how did you get your burlesque name then?
well, my name's Kelly. So no, actually I was having this conversation the other day because I don't know. I mean, there's two stories. There's a not so PG story, and then there's the PG story.
Okay.
But Kelly is obviously my real name. But back in the day, I was just like, I just can't remember two names. Like there was so many LaRouges and Bettys and Bops and Boos and Roo. Like it was just for me. I'm always myself authentically on stage.
Mm,
There's no. I don't put a character on, and so it just seemed really normal for me to use my real name, and nobody was really doing that as
mm.
well. So and and I was also, I smoked a lot of weed. I couldn't remember two names. If someone was calling me from backstage, I'd been like, who the hell is Ollie Lulu? Like, I don't, but Kellyanne, get your ass to the stage. That I remember. So, but it actually started out as Little Kelly Doll
Oh,
because I
cute.
was quite little. But unbeknownst to me, there was a collectible doll from the 70s called Little Kelly Doll, and
Oh,
you could look it up on Google. So I got in trouble from Mattel to using that name because you can now then Google. So my first like 2 3 years, you Google Little Kelly Doll and it'd be like little doll, boobs, little doll, little doll, boobs. So I kind of, it was a collectible, but it was like a short little redhead, I was like, oh, we worked something out. But apparently
yeah.
not. It wasn't the right thing. So I changed it from Little Kelly Doll to Kellyanne Doll, and Kellyanne's my real name. And Doll is, I haven't really grown any further than this, so we stick to stick, but just like not on the doll, not on
Right.
the doll, which I have to kind of tell people sometimes because when you're in the arts, you just don't know. Some people don't know, so you've got to kind of explain it a little better.
Wait, so what did Mattel like send you a cease and desist or something? Like,
It was not so much a cease and desist. It was like, hello, friend. We'd appreciate it if you wouldn't tag yourself in those kind of photos. So I don't think I think they knew that it wasn't my fault, but
mm,
it's on my old Apple. It's so annoying because I've got this letter and so many people have asked me for it, and it's on my old like MacBook like that I had in like early 2000s, and I can't turn it on.
oh no.
And so I know I want to like frame it because it's so many people. I've done a few interviews now, and they're like, "Show me the letter." I'm like, "I want to show you the letter." One day I'll try and see if I can extract it. But yeah, I did get a letter, and they asked me not to use that name, so I did.
Holy shit. How
Yeah.
many other burlesque performers can say that they've gotten an email from Mattel?
I mean, probably a few. I don't know. I mean, there's so many names that sort of very, very close to, Barbie and all of those sort of things. So you never know.
You
But
never know.
I did get in trouble. But yeah, you can look it up. You can see. You could probably even find one picture maybe on page 6. If you type on Little Kelly doll, you'll see there's just a red-headed doll, and then maybe a picture of me, probably about 15 years ago.
It's like, no.
Yeah, but yeah, no, Kellyanne Doll, and I think it is me, and I never thought of using any other name. That's just the way it was.
Yeah, no,
Mm.
I like that. Always authentically you.
Yeah, I think that's important in burlesque to be authentic to yourself, and I no shame for anyone who changes their name, because there's obviously reasons why people do, and legal reasons if legal reasons. But I think no matter what name you are, you should always be authentic to yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. So, going all the way back, this is also going to be a really tricky question to answer. What was your first ever solo act as Kelly Andol?
The funny thing is that I'm still doing that act to this day. If the actor got selected into Beehive last year.
No way.
And it was the first time I ever applied with that act because I have been doing I'm using even the same mix that I've used, the Why Don't You Do Right medley. And
Oh,
I did do one or two, but I couldn't tell you. But this one was like the one I really started to work on. And I never applied with I've applied with to Beehive 10 times, 10 years, and I never got in.
mm,
And which was, it's heartbreaking and it's hard because you do see all your friends and stuff and people that get it before you. And I was like, you know what, I'm going to apply with the first ever act I've done. And
mm.
because I never saw comedy representation over there, I was always worried that it just wasn't right to be helped. But that previous year when Trigger Happy got in for Movers and Shakers, I saw so much more comedy representation. I was like, I'm getting
Yeah.
this variety act that I've had for 10 years. I will scream. And then, yeah, of course, I got into B-Hawk with my first ever act that I created. Obviously, it's evolved from there, but yeah, the same act, my Why Don't You Do Right Melody is the same act I'm doing now. I'm touring regularly.
Wow.
Yeah. Mhm.
That's incredible.
It's wild. I mean, it's Murphy's Law, isn't it? Of course, it's the one that you resonate mostly as a performer, and you don't apply with it. It just
Yeah.
goes to show you, and it just goes to say, just stick to who you are. Don't try
Mm.
and don't apply with things that you think people will want to see. Apply with the thing that makes you shine bright, and the thing that makes you stand out as who you are,
Yeah.
and that's what they want to see. So they must have seen a light in me that they didn't see in the other performances, because I just kept applying with things that I thought that they wanted to see, something classic, something slow, something serious. But they
Yeah.
really wanted to see me being a dickhead. Go figure.
And that's what you do best.
Correct. Yeah, at 280 beats a minute.
Right, so I'm curious, how much has that act changed since you first performed it?
Oh, like so much.
Yeah.
I mean, I mean, 'cause I'm 20 years older, so I think
Mm.
that if it didn't change, there'd be a problem. Like
Mm.
the set, it was a similar style, but I definitely, my confidence has grown. My costumes have gotten better.
Yeah.
I think that I've definitely put a lot more work into myself as an artist, and I've gotten so much inspiration from traveling overseas and competing and producing. I think that all of that is why that it has evolved.
Mm.
I couldn't go, because I mean, I started out as a cheesecake performer, very cutesy, I was little Kelly Bell, and I started
Yeah.
as a pin-up model before I was a burlesque dancer. So,
Mm.
crossing over from that pin-up cheesecake into taking your clothes off is you have to really be strong and confident in who you are, and you have to, like, the audience smells feel like dog shit,
Yes.
they smell big, and
Mm.
people, unfortunately also want you, they kind of want you to fail. And so if you can't fail if you're being your 100% true self, because that's the truth. And I
Yeah.
think that if you want to be a burlesque dancer in this day and age, especially what's going on in the world, don't piss in anyone's pocket. Like,
Mm.
don't fake it. Like,
Yeah.
go out there, have the best time for you, and people will enjoy that. So you evolve, your act should evolve with who you are as well.
Mm. Yeah,
Mm.
I love that because yeah, I mean like I'm very much still a baby and like one of the things I'm trying my best to stop myself doing is like I keep on getting new ideas for acts. I'm like I want to move to this or this or this and I'm just like no, I need to like stick and get better at one thing and maybe upgrade and like
Yeah.
it's yeah.
But at the same time, there's no rules. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
I've got a residency every single week in Sydney. I'll change my music every single week. I like, if it's top 40 or a 90s song or a rap or R&B, I will dance whatever I want. It'll That's just the way I like. It doesn't have to so much be a change in style. Just a song. Do
Yeah.
the same thing and do it differently. And because every show is different, every vibe is different, everyone's, and your mood's going to change. I would say
Mm.
always try and change up as much as you can. Not so much the style of what you're doing and adding gimmicks and stuff, but more so just to change up your music style.
Mm.
Just pick a song, because you never know when you're going to have to do that in real life.
Yeah.
Your song may not work, or you get to a venue and you've chosen a completely different song. Just get used to being versatile, and you know being able to, like, change in an instant. Going, I can dance anything.
Yeah.
Be able to dance to anything, because that's what's going to get you booked more. If you can adapt and you can change yourself in seconds, people are going to appreciate that as a producer and venues, you know,
Yeah.
and yourself. It just makes you more motivated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Keeps it less boring.
Yeah, and challenging yourself is yeah, that's what you want to do in golf. You want to challenge yourself, because it's not fucking rocket science. I'm like, can you say that? Can I say that first? It's not rocket science, but it's there. Your only challenge is for yourself, to keep yourself interested in what you do.
Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, what is the favorite act that you've ever done then? Because I know you've done so many.
Ah, solo. Probably be my Vegemite kid act that I did for Things Down Under Burlesque. Like to this day, it's probably the most ludicrous thing I've ever done. And I had a giant Vegemite jar, like a life size, like it was kind of like the Dita Von Teese style of, and I was the like this aging Vegemite kid. And I did basically a champagne Vegemite sour, and then covered myself in Sayo biscuits. Look,
Oh,
I
wow.
didn't I didn't make friends too much on that tour. It was 40 degrees in Perth, and covering yourself in a use-based product in 40 degrees for 4 days straight. Wouldn't recommend it. Wouldn't recommend it. But it was so funny and so much fun. I love being stupid like that. And it had no dancing in it at all. So I left that Vegemite somewhere on the rubber ball because it just stank so bad. But I haven't done it in 2 years. But probably my favorite act right now is Proud Mary with my dance
Oh,
partner, Patrick. Like it's so fun to do, and like I just love dancing with him. So he brings out the best in me, and I just have so much fun with him. So Proud Mary right now, just
yeah.
love doing it.
You guys did that together at Headliners, and it was absolutely
Ah, yeah,
electric. Yeah.
so fun. Well, that's our brand. That's our new version. So that we usually keep our clothes on in that act. So
Ah.
we have made it super black so we can show through that in the burlesque shows. It was fine the way it is, but we just want actually more choice this one to get it. So yeah, I couldn't allow myself to have all the fun. So yeah, it's definitely a new version. We just did it here last night at the Newcastle Springs, and the
Oh, yeah.
crowd loved it. So I think
Hell
we've got
yeah.
it. I think we're on a good one now.
I love his little gold G-string. It's just
I
very funny.
know. He's so cute. He's so adorable. He loves getting close.
Now, biggest onstage fail. I know that this is a very loaded question. Can you think of anything funny that comes to mind?
Girl, your show is not long enough. Your show is not long enough. Biggest on stage fail. I mean, Tyson's put me through like he's put me through ceiling. He's anchored me on fire hydrants and I like, but I feel like I bleed pretty much every time I go on stage. So
Oh,
I think
wow.
like lately, well, look, note to all you, I know this is probably a question later, but what's my advice to younger performers? Stay off your bloody knees. Stay off
Um,
your knees. Wear protection. Yeah, I was dancing in a show in Manila, I think, and I slid off the stage. I don't know. Yeah, if you've seen me perform, I love to get off stage. I love to jump on people. I love
mm,
to run around. I slid off the stage, and there was a nail sticking up at the edge of the stage, which I anchored at full speed.
no.
And because of the adrenaline, I didn't feel the pain, but I felt something stop me, and I ripped off the stage, and I just ran into the audience.
Yeah.
Unbeknownst to me, I had just like I had like a 3 inch hair in my skin, but deep. So blood was just covering me. I didn't know, and I'd only just started the act, and I'm jumping on people,
Oh my
and
God.
I'm going around and dancing around this whole area. I then sliced the bottom of my toe, taking off my toenail, right? Taking off my toenail, cleaning off, still dancing,
What?
still haven't, still haven't felt a single thing. And that's also nobody's noticed at this because it's below my knee, so no one's really noticed any blood coming from me. I finally make it back up on stage, and my whole leg is just covered in red. And I do a bow, and I'm just like, I feel funny. And just basically pass out as I've gotten back to stage. And people have had to like go, oh my God, you're just like, you've been bleeding over every single person in this club. I mean, that's probably like my biggest fail, but I didn't know it until the end. So it can't really classify as fail. I still went through the entire act, but I was losing cups and cups of blood through
Oh,
the and they could probably make clones with me. I don't know. There's probably clones out there somewhere with me. All my DNA is covered on the phone. But yeah, I'm a bit of a liability. So on stage fails is kind of my shit. If you've seen a show where I've stayed upright this month, I'm surprised.
God, that audience must have looked like a massacre happened or something.
Look, and to be honest, they probably didn't notice till they got home. It was probably like all on their bottoms of their stuff. And I'm like, it's weird. But yeah, it was I still got the scars to this day. That was such a deep, deep gash. But yeah, yeah, the stages have gotten a lot better in our days now. But back then it was rock and roll pubs and
Yeah.
yeah, a lot of stages that weren't fit for burlesque.
Oh my God. And thank God for stages getting better because, oh, wow.
Very true. But yeah, I think if it's bad luck if I don't fall over.
So
So.
what's your favorite costume that you've ever worn?
Oh, probably my blue one right now. Like it's
Yeah.
My Diesel Darling makes all my costumes. She's just so amazing. Well, I've got Kira Gillette as well. She does all my like amazing stuff too. But Diesel Darling has created some of the most beautiful pieces for me. And but the one I took to Burlesque Hall of Fame last year, my blue, is probably my favorite.
Mm,
It just makes me feel so strong and so powerful, and just so expensive.
yeah.
She just does absolutely amazing work right now. So yeah, that's my favorite. She's got me give me a purple one and a green one, a gold
Oh,
one. Like I've yeah, I've got to collect the whole set.
one in every color.
Yeah, well that's the thing. I mean, I'm coming up to I'm 43 now,
Yeah.
and I've got to downsize my wardrobe just to have my my corporate pieces and my touring pieces, and just start to really just take care of those things and just have something that I can have forever.
Yeah.
Because back in the day, I was just like using really cheap pieces and making them look good. But
Yeah.
now I just want my go-to special pieces, and they're going to be at a museum one day for sure.
Oh, absolutely. We need a burlesque hall of fame or something in Australia, I reckon.
Yeah, well, we're coming close actually. We've got the Burlesque Museum, and we've got a lot of history that we've collected over the years. I think it's Davida and Alicia Kit. There's a lot of people who have got like keeping those things safe, and they've got a warehouse with a lot of costumes in it, a
Oh,
lot of memorabilia from certain venues that have closed down back in the day, a lot of photos, and just yeah, we've got some amazing people who are taking care of that, and hopefully we will. Yeah.
yes.
Mm.
So, would you say that you have a signature move when you're on stage, aside from the fancy footwork
And the injuries.
and the injuries?
Probably have to say my face.
Yeah,
I think I give them. I cannot take a good photo too. I mean, I think that having good face in burlesque is the most important thing, because you can do whatever you want with your body, but if your face doesn't say anything, then So I feel like my expressions are probably my biggest gift
yeah,
to the burlesque community. Scary, funny, you know, just go out there and forget about the photos. Just go out there and be yourself and make
yeah.
stupid faces.
You always look like you're having the best time whenever you're on stage, and that's definitely contagious as an audience member.
I am having the best time. I don't think I've ever had a bad show, honestly. Even if the crowd's not loving it, I'm having the best time. And that's sort of that's the point, You go
Yeah,
out there and have the best time, you will love what you do till the end.
yeah, absolutely. So, this is also a bit of a loaded question, but who
Mhm.
would you say is your biggest influence as a performer?
My biggest influence is it weird to say myself?
No.
I mean, I love my friends and I love everybody that I perform with, and I love you know, I love my girls overseas, but I think I don't think I'm influenced by anybody but my own emotions and what I can do, because I don't want to be like anyone. I don't want to I don't recognize what other people are doing as something. Oh, I want to do that. I was like,
Mm,
okay, how can I make myself, like, what can I do today that's different than what I did last time? Like, I really do go inward when it comes to inspiration, and music. I love music,
mm,
and I look at fashion, and also look at what comedy. I love comedy.
yeah.
So I get inspiration from all different genres. I watch a lot of performances. I go out and I see a lot of live art, but I don't know these people a lot of the
Yeah.
time. And I'm inspired constantly by my community as well, because when I see my friends thriving, and when I see my my burlesque family thriving. I get inspired to get off my ass and do it.
Yeah.
But in terms of a single person, Pearl Noir,
Mm.
like when I first started burlesque, like Pearl Noir and Dakota Ferreira
Mm.
is they were probably the only two people because we didn't have YouTube back then. So we
Oh
had like
yeah.
little like there were maybe like one or two videos that we found. But Pearl Noir for me, she knows that I tell her every day. You know, she's one of my biggest reasons why I'm still here and why I continue to work. You know, she's the power in her. And if you've never watched Pearl Noir live, even on, have you heard of Pearl Noir?
I haven't actually,
Oh,
no.
Dave,
No.
you've got to watch it. So it's just one of the most incredible performers you'll ever see in your entire
Yeah.
life. And she comes from within, and she's all
Yeah.
about the power of burlesque from a inspiration from within. So you'll see when you watch it why I say my biggest inspiration is myself, because at the end of the day, that's all it's got. You know?
Yeah. Oh, that's
Yeah,
lovely. Okay, I'm gonna Google Pearl Noir after this. I'll do my
you'll
education.
change your life, darling. Once you go pearl, you'll never go back, mate.
So now, your advice for new performers, I'm sure that you have a lot.
um, yeah, I mean, research, respect, go to as many shows as possible, learn from as many people as possible. You know, if you think that you've learned enough, learn more. You
Mm,
know, if nobody is nobody should ever think, okay, I'm done. I've got enough experience now. I don't need to learn anymore. I'm still learning after 18 years. I'm still going to classes. I'm still reaching out to people, teaching me new
mm,
skills, and I'm, you know, watching what's happening. I don't think that anybody should stop learning. And, you know, if you want to have a longevity in this career, you've got to show that you want to be here.
mm,
And, you know, don't keep putting your hands out and, you know, find a show you've never been to. You know, go travel, go do the things that you go that go to the shows that you want to be in. See
mm.
what the style is like, see what the producers are like. Um, go to Beehoff, go to Burlesque Hall of Fame,
Yeah.
learn about the history, like see the legends, speak to legends. Like there's so much that you should be doing as a new performer that will make you understand why people get so emotional about it. You know,
Mm,
because a lot of people, you know, especially a lot of newbies go, oh my God, like chill out. Like it's like, no, this is a real thing for people. This is, you know, people risk their lives to do this. You
mm.
know, we are so lucky to be able to do this without the implications that used to be put on us, you know, especially people
Yeah.
like, especially in Australia, like Miss Kelly has been at the forefront of safety of sex workers and strippers in the, you know, the 80s and 90s. And today, like we would not be doing this if it wasn't for people like her. And
Mm,
Elizabeth Burton, people like that have literally risked their lives to have what we have, you know? Like,
mhm.
so we should be very grateful. And that's why every time you do burlesque, make it count. Do it for
Mm,
those people who lost their lives. Do it for those people who have gone into hiding, and research. Go research.
mm.
Research who you need. Like the fact you don't know the Pearl Mark, I'm mad at you. I'm a little bit mad at you. But no, you're going to go and watch her, and you're going to go
Yes.
look at her, and that's what you do. Just got to educate. You
Yeah.
know? Pass it on. So yeah,
Learn,
that's
learn,
my
learn.
learn, 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 learn.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. And that's
I'm
one
not.
of the,
I'm not really mad at you.
oh, yeah. I was going to say that's one of my favorite things about doing this podcast is that I have learned so much from so many amazing
Good.
people and it's just
Good.
great.
Good.
Yeah. So, now moving on to some more apprentice focused
Hmm.
questions. What's the
Yeah.
process like producing a show like The Apprentice? Because I can't imagine it would be easy.
Um, Look, it's easy. I mean, you guys make it easy because you guys are the reason why this is here.
Mm,
But we put on shows all year round, and we give opportunities all year round for artists who are coming into the scene to better themselves. And obviously, you know, we've got other shows like Fresh Meat, and we've got other like my head's missing at shows, but there's so many more producers now that give opportunities to amateur performers, and they and Royal got Royal Hearts and Royal Troops as well with
mhm,
porcelain. there's so much opportunity now. So it actually is such a rewarding experience when it comes to application time to see every year how many applications we get,
Mm,
and because last year and the year before it was like the numbers just keep going, which is a real testament to these people who, yourself included, who
thank you.
put themselves out there to compete. But we also don't like to think of Apprentice as a competition, because you guys should be worrying about that stuff right now. I think
Mm,
that as an amateur and a rising star, which is what Apprenticeship is all about, we don't want that to be the way you guys think of what burlesque is, because it should
yeah.
never be a competitive environment. And I think that me and Delilah have really focused on making sure that it is a safe space for young performers to come and just like compete, but not all, but also create and build a community
Mm,
within, with people that they haven't fully met yet. And
yeah.
that's the most important thing that we take out of Apprentice. Yes, someone wins in the end, but we never want it to feel that way. So
No.
yeah, so we get to know these people a whole year round, and they come and dance in Redlight Confidential, and they get to do fresh meat, and they get to do Royal Recruits, and they build their confidence up. And then to see
Mm,
them after a year doing all of that is, yeah, really cool.
yeah, that's awesome. And I can
Mm.
definitely attest as someone who was in the oh God, 2024 cohort. Wow.
Mm. Yeah,
Thinking
your
of
rep
it.
was so fun though. It was so fun.
Oh,
You look like
thank
you're
you.
having the best time.
You're very kind. Because I was having the best time and I had so much fun in the lead up. I got so
Mhm,
close to all of my competitors. We all just
mhm.
like bonded really, really hard. And it was like a real coming together of community that night. So I'm just,
Yeah.
yeah, thank you so much for making that space, you and
Absolute
Delilah.
pleasure. Absolute pleasure. And look, little shout out to our little our new competitors this year. They've been
Mm,
so beautiful in the chat. Like, they're always like hyping each other up, and they're, giving each other like, all these aspirations and talking about if anyone needs anything. And it's really, and that's what I mean. Like, it doesn't feel like a competition. Like every morning me and Delilah wake up to like all these messages within the group, and they're all just like, yeah, giving each other love and seeing if anyone needs anything. So it's yeah, it's really sweet, really good. I can't wait for them to get up there and take their things.
neither
Mm.
can I. I'm so excited. So, do you have a favorite apprentice memory?
Um, I mean, not a single memory. Honestly, every show is just like, and the way this community builds every time we put on a show is a memory for me. Like,
Mm,
especially now doing it with someone like Delilah, who's just so committed to excellence and just making sure everybody's happy. And it's been a real joy to work with her and
mm,
to have a partner like that who really focuses on making sure everybody's happy and comfortable. And you can just see the joy, and every time that someone wins, nobody's upset,
no,
nobody's sad.
no.
And I think that that's my memory. You're only as good as your last show, and um, I can't think of anything other than when it's over and just like this wave of like relief and happiness just comes over me. So I can only remember the last one
Yeah.
because that's my favorite memory. Every time it's over and I just see them having the best time and everyone's smiling. And yeah,
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
those are always the best photos as well at the end of the night where everyone's just like beaming and
Yeah,
just, yeah.
exactly. Everyone's just having the best time, and nobody's sad and nobody's upset. They just,
No.
they get treated all the same way.
Hmm.
Um, and yeah, that makes us happy. And just to see them kind of grow and evolve after that and go touring and go taking that confidence, and and even if they don't, at least they did it. I think that's a memory in itself.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
do you have any advice for this year's competitors? We've got so many this year, 12. It's incredible.
So many. The advice I give to them would probably just go out there and have a good time. Just have fun and just enjoy yourself. So a lot of people focus a lot about on the choreography and the steps. And, all you got to know is how to take off those clothes. Just learn how to take those pieces off, and it's going to happen. So
Hmm.
creating like opportunities to, whatever happens when things go wrong. I
Hmm.
think that that's probably the most important part. When things go wrong, what then?
Yeah.
So if you choreograph too hard or if you focus too much on the steps, then when things go wrong, things can spiral.
Hmm.
So always remember to have opportunities to whatever happens when things go wrong. you've got some filler, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that. Be prepared for anything.
Be prepared for anything, and the only thing you're being scored on is your confidence and the way you take off your clothes. You know,
Yeah.
so everything should come naturally through that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we're getting towards the end of the episode. So before
Mhm.
we go, I always like to ask my guests to put a spotlight on some other artist or show, someone else who's doing something amazing in the scene. So is there anyone that you want to spotlight?
I'm actually going to go with my girl Demon Derriere, actually.
Mm,
Um,
mm,
uh, she's doing amazing stuff right now, and she's such a hard worker, phenomenal performer, and she really gives a shit. You know,
mm.
like she's one of these people I could watch all day. Incredible performer. She's doing a solo development course right now that Apprentease is actually sponsoring one a PSC, BIPSC performer to go do her whole run of her solo
Oh,
development course.
gorgeous.
So she's she just puts herself out there in a way that I've never seen before, and I really really appreciate her being a part of the team. And um, yeah, she really cares about her students, and you can see the effort she puts in and the care she puts into to their styles and their growth. Um, yeah, she's just an all around cool woman, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if all solo performers, if you're interested, go do her solo development course. I'm even thinking about doing her solo development course. I think
Yeah.
she could teach me a few things or two for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
No.
Yeah,
She's a seriously awesome human. I did a
she
little
is.
solo development thing with her and yeah.
She's funny to funny as hell as well.
Yes. I was laughing the whole time.
Mhm.
Oh, gorgeous. So, Kellyanne Dole, now finally, and we know that you're up to the Apprentice, but is there anything else that you want to promote before we say goodbye?
Well, I mean, I guess it just depends on when this airs, but you know, we're here doing Redlight Confidential at Newcastle Fringe this weekend and next weekend. So the 28th and 29th is our next shows. Going really well. We're close to selling out. And yeah, I'm going to Viva. I'm going to Viva Las Vegas, baby.
You are.
So yeah, look to that. This year is really all of just about doing things that serve me emotionally well, and just and save me money as well. Just like to do things that just, if I'm going to put my money anywhere, it's going to be somewhere where I'm going to have a lot of fun. So a lot of
Yeah.
traveling this year, and we've got our Red Light Confidentials, we've got Get Down Variety Club. Head over to Red Right Hand Entertainment and come and see a show. Come and see a
Yeah.
show. Come see us do some weird shit.
Absolutely. Can confirm it's an awesome time for anyone
It is.
anyone
It
wondering.
is.
Well, thank you so much for Kelly for being on the show. It's been an absolute
My
blast having you
pleasure.
here.
My pleasure. Had a great time. Thank you so much.
No worries, and I'll see you around.
Bye.